Hi there, this is Harvey Weinstein, and welcome to Thorskin Podcast. Suck my dick, motherfucker.
My God.
Oh,
You have to start telling me when you're gonna do shit like this.
wow.
You know, like
It's always a surprise. It's good if it's a surprise to you, because, we like to shock and awe and all that, but fuck me. Oh, what a week it's been in the world of Hollywood.
it's been a good
Crazy.
week in the world of everything. There's so much going on at the moment, and literally, I'm getting attacked by my dog. Dog, fuck off! Seriously, we're trying
Before
to do
we
a
get ahead of
podcast here.
ourselves,
Seriously,
welcome to Thorskin Podcast. I'm Al, and Jimmy here, obviously.
as
Next to
always,
me.
pleasure to be here.
How are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm excited for this one. It's gonna be a good week.
Well, we had a week off, didn't we? Because the night we usually record, we ended up getting drunk, which messed around our schedules. So sorry for the week off, but it's going to be a good show to make up for it.
And that's the thing is we're not like 18 years old anymore. We can't go for a drink and then like do shit the next day. Like we've got to take 3 days to recover because it's our old bones.
I
need to
take for people that have been
recover.
He does. I don't. I wake up sweet as a fairy when I go for a drink. But,
Yeah, it's because you only have 3 beers and then you're drunk, but your body's just like.
Well, I wouldn't call mind you. At one point last weekend, you seemed to be drinking straight vinegar.
Yeah,
I remember right.
Yeah, so we went, obviously you can put the video. We went to like a beer festival. So we were trying all the different stuff. You found one that you like fell in love with. I wasn't.
Black IPA. Ooh,
Yeah, black eyed peas in beer form. And it was like I was just going around just trying all these random little bits and stuff. And I only had like 3-4 pints of like actual proper drink, but I was just trying little bits of other stuff. And I had this one cider that was literally like if Jason Momoa took a piss and left it fermenting for a year. That's what it tasted like. Was just like like big man's fermented piss.
It's a cheaper way of stripping the paint off your car. That's what that was.
Pretty much.
It was a good night though. Got up to many shenanigans. We went through the scare maze, which I've got a lot to talk about later. Well, we'll cover it actually at the beginning of the show. So we went to the beer festival, which is great. Had a meander through Shrewsbury. We went to the Shrewsbury Hotel pub where I drunkenly started picking up books and reading them.
Like bright and blessed.
I was so drunk I didn't realize how loud I was being. Right, so I picked up this random. They have like, if you guys don't realize, in Weatherspoons, the bars, they have like random books they can just pick up and you can read. Like, I mean, you're not supposed to, but I do because I'm stupid. And I thought I was reading this book at a reasonable level, but somebody got a recording of me and I sounded so fucking loud. There were people looking at me and I sounded like Brian Blessed reading this random book from the 1900s, early 1900s about surgery or something like that. It's so bad.
Yeah,
so much fun.
It was embarrassing because at that point, like, you know, when you take a 5-minute walk and you've stopped drinking and you realise, actually, I haven't drunk that much, so I'm quite sober. But Al was just absolutely minging. He was just on the floor. So everyone else was like pretty much sober at this point, and he was just fucked, shouting out all these like, and it was in Old English as well. It was like, blessed here are the procedures of 1920 surgery. Well, 18.
Suck thy dick.
Oh, it was fucking terrible. It's so cringe. Lesson learned: never go out with Al. Actually, in real life, I do lose all my inhibitions. Yeah, keep it comments in Facebook. That's as close as you need to get to this guy.
Okay, so yeah, we did that, and then obviously our schedules got mixed up and everything. And so, like, while we haven't been recording and stuff, what have you been up to this week, matey?
Adult stuff, first of all.
Yeah,
all the usual boring stuff. Been dying a lot more in Cuphead. I literally I had a rage last night. I've been trying to do this level with the dragon. Honestly, I've put about 6 hours into just this one level so far, and it is doing my tits in. So I'll put that to one side. We'll get into this later, but obviously Star Wars beta, Battlefront 2. I've been
smug bastard
jizzing over the new Stranger Things trailer, or just so much stuff.
There is so much in there. I suppose with New York Comic Con, there's been so much released, hasn't there? But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's been a crazy big geeky week. Well, for me, I went to see my mom. She lives in Crewe. I nearly got hit by 2 drivers because people that drive around in Crewe are fucking morons. I did that video with a toy, which is getting hundreds and hundreds of likes and watches and stuff. Like, so I'm quite chuffed about that.
That was hilarious.
I thought
I had to share that back out, or I was just like, oh my god, why do I choose to hang out around this guy?
That's been viewed about like 400 times. It's crazy. You know, when it comes up for how many views you've got.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And then yesterday I got a random text. Do you remember the scare maze that everyone? I keep trying to share the link onto Thors-Kin, but people that know me personally saw I did a live feed of the scare maze from the beer festival. Now, my mom sent me a message to this guy saying, this guy's after scare actors. You're always dicking around the house and making stupid voices. Why not message him? So I was like, okay, I did. And you may have seen on the video that after the scare maze, they offered me press tickets to go to the scare maze and cover it for Thorskin. Now, I didn't get an email back because I probably stupidly gave them the wrong email address because I was pissed.
Or they were like, he was just pissed, we won't email him.
Yeah, he's a dick. Fuck him. So, I didn't think we were going to get those tickets. So, it turns out the person I was meant to text from my mom suggested is one of the guys that works there. So, I said I was interested. And yesterday, alas, he messaged me and said, do you fancy come do some scare work? And it was at the Shrewsbury prison, the old Shrewsbury, the Dana prison. Basically, so I turned up, not knowing anybody in Shrewsbury, really nervous and not knowing what I was going to be walking into. First of all, they gave me a tour. I've never been in a prison in my life, right? I've never been in a prison. And this place is amazing to go and see. I mean, if you're going as a free person, I suppose it's a different experience. But it's like this prison was only just decommissioned 4 years ago. So it's quite fresh, it's still there, So they give me a tour around the prison, and then they chuck me a prison jumpsuit, and they turn me into a zombie. I can't share the pictures yet until I get permission, because they've said that they want to kind of keep it all anonymous at the moment. But so I spent all night last night up until about 12 midnight running around scaring people, literally down smoky corridor. It was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And after speaking to one of the front runners of the show, he said that we can do a live podcast from there at some point. So
how would that work? Would it be too dark, or
no? What we can do is, because there's a bit of time before where we all kind of get ready and stuff. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to get my ass kicked off before. There's a bit of time when we get ready, so we could speak to some of the actors and stuff as they're putting the makeup on. We could have a wander around. I don't think they want us to see the maze because they don't want people to see it before they do it, see?
Yeah.
So what we can do is speak to some of the actors and stuff before they're getting ready to go out. And then we can do a live recording of people getting scared the shit out of it. Oh my God, there were grown men nearly crying in front of me. It was amazing. I've turned into quite a sadist. I gotta say.
I was actually quite surprised, the atmosphere, even though when we were at the beer festival, it was like a snippet thing. It was one corridor down one way and then one corridor back down the other. And it was I was thinking, oh, this is going to be terrible. When you were in there, the atmosphere was actually really, really good, even though you knew that they were actors and they weren't going to do anything to you. And it's some bits were a bit cheesy. It's the atmosphere was actually still really good. And when you get a guy coming at you with a chainsaw that is a real chainsaw just without a blade on it, but it's just oh, okay, I think I'll run now.
Well, these people are truly dedicated and they're very, very good at what they do. And I being a new guy in town and not knowing many people, I've instantly made loads of friends just from doing that last night because they're such nice people,
Yeah.
These people that are scaring the shit out of grown men, they're actually lovely people to meet. So I'm going to be working with them for a few weeks now. I'm going to be doing that 3 nights a week for the next 3 weeks. So
cool.
I'm going to be getting a few insights to that, as well as, making friends and getting some experience for myself. So look forward to that. I will share the link as well. I think I've already shared the link, actually. I've just done it on Thorskin. So if you're local and you fancy, it's like a 4 hour, you pay £25 and you get 4 hours of this. Like, it's amazing. Like the shows you get to see. I mean, these are all actors.
It's
all these scare
4
actors.
hours.
It's 4 hours long. So imagine what you pay to go and watch
That's awesome.
a show. You know, imagine what you pay to see a concert or something like that. That's only 2 hours. Like, you know, like 4 guys jumping around with guitars. Like, so to pay £25 to go around an actual prison to see these people and all the smoke. They use smoke bombs. They use flashbangs. They use all sorts. It's amazing. They give you a bow and arrow to shoot at the zombies. It's a truly amazing experience. I mean, I was lucky enough to experience it from the other side. On the other side, but actually being scared like that, amazing. Like, you know.
I bet, because as well you're all made up and it's all dark. I bet you like. It's really easy to come out of your skin. It's like whenever like you dress up as Halloween and you put a mask on, everyone just all of a sudden like you lose your inhibitions, don't you? Because it's not people aren't seeing your face. I bet exactly the same thing happens where people get so into it.
They do. There was this one guy actually, and he was like, you could tell he was like, "Oh, you're going to scare me now," and "Oh my god," he's probably like, "I know it's not real." He's going through dark corridors and he had a torch. He's like, "I've got a torch!" No. And one of the lead zombies, or infected as we call him, Tim. He's a great guy. He managed to sneak up behind this guy and get a proper jump out of him. So even though he was like playing along as if like, "Oh, this isn't real. I don't give a shit." Blah 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 blah. He still got a scare. So like, even if you go into it thinking, "Oh, it's not real," you're gonna get scared. You're gonna jump at one point, and that's what you pay for. It's a thrill, isn't it? So
exactly.
And they're getting a lot of. They're on the front page of the Shropshire Star. They've been on they're getting lots of good press at the moment. So if we can help them out, I'm gonna push for them. You know. So
yeah, definitely.
Go see that.
I think the key is with something like that is don't go in like an arrogant, cocky fool who is like there to like, "Oh, I know how you do that magic trick." Like, go in for the experience. Like, let yourself in, pretend that you are in one of those experiences. You'll get so much more out of it. When I went into the snippet maze with you, that first bit, I was like, "All right, okay, whatever." And then as after a few minutes of being in there, I was like, "Oh, I kind of get what they're trying to do." So I think if you had 4 hours of that and your first 5-10 minutes was like, okay, it's a bunch of actors. After that first 5-10 minutes, if you realise what they're trying to actually achieve and you let that in, that would be that. I can imagine that being like so. And
cool. I don't want people to think it's just zombies either, because there's so. I don't want to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it.
Don't spoil it. Yeah,
there is so. I wouldn't. They'd fire me. But there are so many different aspects to this. Like, they've got amazing actors playing so many different characters. So go and enjoy it. It will blow your mind. And if we can do a show from there, or even if I can give you and a couple of others some press tickets, and I can get a live recording of you getting scared the shit out of, that would be amazing.
Yeah, at the very least, like we'll do the experience, and then when. Is it like a thing where they set it up and then they take it down after a certain? Well, they've got like they lease the prison for a few weeks or something, or is this like a permanent thing?
They keep doing it. They do so many different shows and things. They do like prison breakouts and all sorts. So they just change the theme. But this is set out like they'll just change the odd thing and that to make it fresh and stuff. But so it's all left there.
At the very least, like after a certain amount of time's passed and like they don't want it ruining for what the experience is, we could do like a full. This is what you go through and stuff like that on it. At the very least.
We could do like a survival cast. We could go there, and I mean, it's a bit awkward now with me working there. But I would like maybe have the one night off and just turn up. If we can get a nice camera, borrow a nice camera off someone, and just be like, do like a survival cast, like a Blair Witch style kind of. Yeah. We're in the room now. We're safe, kind of thing, and then just take people through the whole experience. I don't know if they'd let us do that, but. I'll speak to the guys and see what we can do, but watch this space. I mean, I'm onto something good here, and I'm going to share it with you guys. As well as, I don't know, you guys must have seen the poster by now. We've got an amazing show coming up soon, haven't we? With Garrett and Justin from Garrett and Justin Triggered.
Yeah, Thors-Kin Triggered, motherfuckers.
That's going to be a great show. Yep. You guys have probably seen the links and stuff we've been putting on our Facebook page. a couple of friends of ours that started doing a podcast same time as us. They're really good friends of ours now, and they've been really good to us and us to them. We're kind of helping each other out, and their show's taking off, and it's doing the same as ours. You know, they're getting a few listeners and stuff. But it's a great show. I mean, they're not the same as us. They don't kind of talk about the geek. They do talk about geeky stuff, but not like as structured as us. They just go into it like kind of, hey man, how's it going? And then they start talking about, and they got a really good chemistry and a good vibe. And you know, I think our listeners would definitely get something off their show because you know we got a lot in common, you know, with the Star Wars and the geeky stuff we like, you know.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a show with that.
Yeah, they're all over it. I mean, they're pretty well spoken. They're funny to listen to. I was listening back to some of their shows, and some of the bits had me literally laughing out loud. It's going to be awesome having them on. So it's going to be a bit of a special week next week. We're going to save some of the big topics to go into for next week. We're going to, let's just say we're going to rig a few events.
Yes,
maybe.
We're going to make it very listenable.
Yeah.
So Garrett and Justin, if you're listening, you're my boys, and we're going to make it special for you next week. And thanks for having us and us having you. So, you know.
Yeah, cool. Do you want to get into the meat and potatoes?
Yes, let's get into the nitty gritty. Okay, what should we talk about first? I'm gonna suggest, because we've just watched it, and it's a bit late, so we might as well get out of the way. Is the Justice League trailer? Let's just. James just watched it now, and he was like, "Just give me 20 minutes."
I put a thing on Facebook when this goes out. It would have been a couple of days ago, but it was basically I was scrolling through the community bit on the Xbox, and it came up with the Wonder Woman is now available, download, and it just said rent Wonder Woman, and I was just like, back of the queue, bitches. Oh my god. Now, this trailer looked fucking awesome. It is, obviously, I'm a proper Marvel fanboy, but this kind of rivaled Thor Ragnarok for me. And there was some really similar bits, actually, with like things flying through the sky, taking like a proper biblical looking shot of it. There was really like proper similarities between the two trailers. Dude, if they nailed the actual full film like they've been nailing the trailers for this, like as much as of all the moaning that I do about the whole DC's parts being like fragmented, where they got stuff here and there, and it's like, yeah, that's rich coming from like a fanboy of a company who doesn't own the fucking X-Men properly. But like with having like Joker films going this way and Batman not being included and all that kind of stuff, we've been there, done that. I won't go over it in full again, but this, I can get on board with this.
And that's nice to hear from a Marvel fan, you know. That's really refreshing to hear, because we've been getting a lot of shit lately, us DC fans, because of the movies. And unrightly so, as well, I keep saying. Dawn of Justice was a great film.
No, it wasn't. It was a pile of shit. Humour. Just, that's all. Don't take yourself so seriously. You don't have to be like, just because your comics are like, for people, no, I won't say that, but no. It was going to be funny, but also too offensive. Just because, like, your comics are like a little bit dark and depressing and all that kind of stuff. You don't need to have your films 100% that route. Like with Wonder Woman, they throw humor in there. They tried to do it as much as possible, despite all the plot holes with Suicide Squad, and they got good reception from it. If they can put that to like that AAA level blockbuster where they've got all the actors, you've got all the heroes, they've got a big story behind it, but they've got moments where you've got the Flash just like shouting Bruce Wayne's identity and be like, "Oh shit, sorry, dude." It's like that was hilarious. Like, I'm so excited for this now.
And I think the Flash is probably the saving grace for these, and as well Aquaman, because I was expecting Aquaman to be like, "Suck my trident, bitch," and be really miserable, but he's actually quite humorous in it. Like, you know, he jumps on the roof and says, "Oh, like a bat, I get it." You know, he's kind of, there's punchlines, and that's what it needs. You're right, but as well, it looks amazing. I mean, Steppenwolf looks. I know you were saying he looks a bit like he looks a bit like Ares out of Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because I'm not that clued up from the DC side of things. I love my Batman. but all the rest of it, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty green with it. So I was just like, I remember we were speaking last week. I was just like, dude, they've got the same villain back. What's going on? I think that's going to confuse a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to be like, surely you could have got a better villain. But yeah.
But Steppenwolf will shock everyone. It's if I remember rightly, it's like the son of Darkseid. So my guessing is they're going to defeat Steppenwolf, and Darkseid's going to be right. My turn, bitch, and Darkseid. Like, if they do it properly, if they do it like they did it in the animated movies, where they made Darkseid huge and super powerful, and like it doesn't take just one of them to defeat him; it takes the whole group, working together.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be where it's going to all kind of climax all over your face.
Stuff like this, though, it reminds me of what I used to think about with Dragon Ball Z. Was the villains are that powerful that you've got to get a team of people with like Superman level to defeat him. What's going on when they're not fighting? What's Darkseid doing? He doesn't just sit there at home with his feet up by the fire, just going, I won't destroy the universe today. Like, what's going on outside of this? Like, why isn't everything dead already?
Well, Darkseid has these hellspawns all over his planet. He's got them. He makes them, and these hellspawns that you can throw onto a planet, and it basically turns that planet into Apocalypse. So it basically turns into a fiery, a bit like where Darth Vader goes to relax on holiday.
Yeah,
that's what they turn. It turns. So he destroys planets. He's basically Thanos. He's very similar in the fact that he likes to consume things. He likes to be the Almighty, and So he's a nasty fucker. Like he will fuck a planet up given a chance.
Fuck a bitch up.
You'll fuck a bitch up. And yeah, I mean, but the thing is, right? We'll get into the whole Harvey Weinstein thing later. But with all the downfall of all this is Ben Affleck has come out. I don't know if you've seen this, like, because all of this now, other actors are going to start coming into this category of whether they've been inappropriate to people, and Ben Affleck recently has been exposed as groping someone in like 2007 or something, which isn't right. Doesn't make it right. It was a long time ago. He meant to have embraced someone at an award ceremony and groped a titty, like, as a move. He was like a move is inappropriate and whatever. But now all I'm seeing whenever like Justice League trailers come up and you see Ben Affleck, all you're seeing is people commenting about Ben Affleck groping titties and stuff like. So it's like, I hope that doesn't affect the movie, if that makes sense.
It will. You know it will.
Yeah. It's gonna. Well, I think a Marvel fanboys are going to try their best anyway, so that will affect it anyway. So with this added on, it's not going to help, is it? And I hope not, because I really want this to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to go on a crazy bit of a campaign of DC slandering. I'm going to be like, don't support this film. Thor never touched anyone up. And
then I'm going to come and slap my dick in your face. So watch this space. Watch this space. That looks pretty fucking impressive, if you ask me. And sticking with the superhero stuff, we've just watched the trailer for New Mutants.
So I didn't know this was even a thing up until when you showed me. Obviously, I knew that they were doing the thing at the film in general, but I didn't know that there was a trailer or anything. It was just one of those things I knew that they were working on, was in years to come. I'd not followed it, completely forgot about it, basically. And again, holy mama. Yes. Superheroes are killing films at the moment. New Mutants is set in the X-Men world, isn't it, apparently? So
yeah.
In that sort of same universe, but they've taken like a horror movie spin on it. It might be full of action, but it looks like a proper horror movie. Almost, I got Stranger Things vibes from it.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. I mean, I think what it looks like is following on from Logan. I mean, in Logan, when you see him he goes to that hospital where all those kids have been held up and experimented on and killed, and it looks like a horrendously fucking oppressed, horrible fucking thing. And it follows on from that. And you know what? If you take someone that is really powerful and you poke him with a stick for long enough, they're gonna come and attack you, aren't they? And if there's a whole hospital full of these fucking little kids, then you're in trouble. And I think that's basically where that's gonna go, and rightly so, because it looks like some sort of Nazi concentration camp, doesn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's a good take on the premise of what would happen in real life if all of a sudden people started developing powers like that and they locked them away in a place like that, in a hospital. That sort of 24 hours of them breaking out with all those powers and the shit that you'd see, it would be something like out of a horror movie. It would be horrendous. So it's nice to have, not like, okay, Wolverine's gonna come in and scream and gut everyone. Like, yeah, that makes a good film, but like a proper take on what it would actually be like. That it looks fucking awesome, to be honest. There's bits where there's faces and hands coming out of the walls, and some dudes on fire in a fucking tumble dryer or a washing machine. It's just fucking chaos. Like I'm going into it thinking I don't know what I'm about to see right now.
And the cast looks amazing, because we've had this great era of like amazing TV shows that the whole world has been engrossed by.
Yeah,
things like Games of Thrones and Stranger Things, and whatever's been going. And so you've got Maisie Williams in here, and you've got the older brother out of Stranger Things in it as well. So you've got this great new fresh cast of what's going to be A-list actors in this, which they deserve. They've been on some of the biggest shows in the world. So this, I'm so excited for.
Yeah, definitely. I think we need like more adult takes on these things. Like, something started with Deadpool, if you've noticed. Something started with that, where all of Hollywood started to see that you, with what's going on, this is going to sound so bad, is that you can get I don't even know how to phrase this without it being an awful pun.
Hold on, let me just interject here.
But you can sell that like proper R-rated level product to people, and they'll lap it up. They don't just.
You did well to a point.
Yeah. You get what I'm trying to say. I've got about 20 sentences going on in my head right then, and I'm just like, which one do I not choose? And all of them were bad. So
you did that quite well, actually, up until the lapping up comment. But no, yeah, they with Deadpool, they hit a point, you're right, where they thought, do you know what? We can be a dirty little bastard. We can be violent. We can be scared. We can scare people, because Deadpool made a lot of fucking money. Like, do you know what I mean? And kids are gonna watch this shit. They're going to. I used to when I was a kid. So you can put 18, you can put 15 certificate on it, and kids are still going to see it, right? So do it. You're still gonna make the money, and people will appreciate you for it. So yeah. We started to see a trend, and even with things like DC as well, so they're going to start going down that path as well. We've already seen it with Suicide Squad. It was a bit darker, not as dark as Deadpool, but it was. So watch this space. New Mutants. I'll watch it, definitely. I'll lap up that shit.
While we're on slightly the subject there, did you see the new Stranger Things trailer?
I haven't seen the new one yet, and it sounds really daft. I haven't had much time to take a shit, never mind sit and watch trailers and stuff. I've seen a couple of them, but the Stranger Things, I saw a picture of 11 with her curly hair now.
Yeah, so basically all this is, it's just a deeper dive into what we're going to get. And you know what? After watching it, I came away realising that Stranger Things is one of those... sort of like IPs, I guess it would be the right word to call it. It's one of those series now where I instantly already connect with the characters, because like the police officer guy, the main guy, like he was carrying people through a hospital, and I was sitting there like, no, who's that? I need to know who it is. I need to know. Like there was this whole thing obviously you saw in the old trailer, basically it was this giant octopus thing in the sky. You get a lot better look at that, and the kids trying to fight it off, basically, and figuring out what's going on. You've got Winona Ryder getting like you get more shots of her with is it Will, the little kid?
Yes,
who's the center of it all. He kind of it looks like he's in it a bit more, but he's also in the same position he was last time, where everything's revolving around him again. But it just looks like it's been scaled up to that point of holy shit, this is going down. But because of the first season, you care about them. And the whole trailer, it was like what I'd imagine when you've seen Alien, and then Aliens trailer comes out, and you're just like, they've got machine guns now, and it's like, yes, that's how you do a fucking sequel. Like they haven't like actioned it up too much. It just looks like there's more going on.
And I hope they don't do the same thing. I hope it's not like, oh, Will's gone again. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to go get him fucking again. Like, I hope they do make it a little bit different, because all it needs is a slight little touch. They could release the same fucking shit again and make the same money and grip the audience. But it'd be nice if they changed it up a little bit. Do you know what I mean?
They're definitely all together this time. I don't think he's in like a different dimension for what? How many episodes was it? It was only like 8 or 9 episodes.
It was 8 episodes last season, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and he was in 2 of them, like the start and the last one. So he's going to be in it more on this one, unless they've took all the clips from one episode. But it's essentially, it's revolving around him again.
The sheriff, the guy out of that, is the new Hellboy. Did you know that?
Yeah, I was thinking that when I was watching it. I was just like, he's not like one of those amazing actors that you think, oh, he has to be in more stuff. Like there's some people like with I'm trying to think of examples really, but literally all the names. You know what I'm like with names of actors? They're all escaping me as I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I was watching thinking, I can't wait to watch the new Hellboy with him in as well, because he was brilliant in the first season of Stranger
He's one
Things.
of those actors that have got that certain. David Harbour, his name is, and he's one of those actors that come into like the big parts, the big roles later on in life, and it's because they play that mature character really well. Like Hellboy he's got to be an older guy because he's been around the world. He's old, he's lived since God knows when. So he's got to be that older person naturally. So like Ron Perlman, like when he played Hellboy, he played it perfectly because he was an older guy, he had that sound, that gruff sound. You can't put that on, So yeah. I like David Harbour, and I like him in Stranger Things. I thought he played a brilliant role. He's a guy you almost feel sorry for, but you almost want him to come and save the day, So he did that really well.
He's going to end up being one of these actors that basically he's never going to be in a proper, what you call a blockbuster, I don't think, but he's going to end up with a string of films at that sort of like just underneath that level that end up being better films critically than the ones that make more money, that had bigger investment. He's going to be there's lots of actors like that as well that go a little bit under the radar that are worth their salt more than a lot of the big like Hollywood stars.
Yeah. And sticking again with the superhero theme, we went on to Stranger Things, I know that, but I've just actually remembered that Gambit is back on. Have you heard this? The Gambit movie?
Still with Channing Tatum?
Still with Channing Tatum and with Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig's been pulled in to play the villain.
Do you think he's going to be I am incarcerated. Gambit, you have to break me out.
I think that Logan Lucky performance has made people realise that, maybe he's not too bad for a villain or that kind of bad guy. He's quite actually adaptable. Yeah. So that's done him some favours.
I'm just putting it out there. Gambit is going to be the cheesiest, shittest film you ever see in your life, and it's going to be one of those like, oh shit, a Marvel going backwards.
I hope not, because I love Gambit. Gambit was my favorite X-Men. Like he's quite new to the X-Men world. He was first introduced in 1990, so he's actually quite new. But when I used to watch the cartoon and you used to see him throwing those cards at people, bam, 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 bam. Oh, I loved him.
I don't get it though. I don't get why. Okay, you're a mutant. You've got this genetic ability. What part of your genes gives you a predisposition to make playing cards glowy and throw them really fast?
Anything he touches turns into a fiery inferno, okay? Now, he needs to carry something with him that he has a lot of, and he can throw, bam, 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 like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, yeah, you could keep ball bearings in your pocket.
What, like a terrorist?
Or you could I'd take hundreds and thousands, you know, those things you have on cakes?
Exactly.
You launch a load of them, wha bam!
Bag of sugar. Take a fucking bag of sugar with you.
Yeah, but I'll be the thick bastard that throws the whole bag.
What, and forgets to use your power and is just throwing pound bags of sugar at people. That fucking hurt. Why'd you do that in your knobhead? Just like on Gambit. I'm here to be inconsiderate and a minor inconvenience to you all.
And I like Channing Tatum, but he doesn't look like Gambit. He doesn't look like a Gambit. I think the guy that played it in Wolverine Origins, the fabled Wolverine Origins, was good. I liked him, you know. He was really good.
You mean that brilliant film that everyone loved?
Yeah, but Gambit was the one good bit I liked, you know. Yeah. I really liked the way he just turned everything into a fucking mess. It was chaos.
Will.i.am was my favourite part in that film.
It was fucking wanky.
Actually, I think Deadpool was the best bit, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because that was perfect when they sewed up his mouth.
Yeah, I think that was the perfect plot decision. Shut up, you mouthy fuck.
And you know what? Before I was like properly into like my comic books and stuff, I thought that was a brilliant movie. You know, and there's only when I found out about, you know, a lot more about Deadpool and the way things should be that I realized, wow, this is terrible.
Yeah.
As well, Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Why? Just why?
They're making a Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And it's a serious fucking thing as well. They've pulled in the guy that directed Deadpool for this. Tim Miller is going to direct fucking Sonic the Hedgehog.
Like, I get like Ninja Turtles or something, but how are you going to make Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, can you imagine if they take it like... Can you imagine if they take it really dark and like Tails looks like Splinter? And like
no, he looks like that. He looks like, you know, that Fantastic Mr. Fox, the fucking really raggedy old puppet. I'm Tails. I'm here to save the day. Whoop, 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 whoop. This is fucking stupid. I think it's going to fall under the category of possibly sort of Angry Birds or Emoji Movie. It's going to be one of those flash in the pan thing. No.
It's going to be worse than the new Power Rangers film.
I still haven't seen that yet because of your. I've heard a lot of bad shit. I need to watch it.
Megazord dances. How have you not watched that already? The Megazord dances.
I don't know. I liked
terrible.
The original movie. The original movie was pretty cool. I liked that as a kid.
What, with Ivan Ooze? I am Ivan Ooze! I almost put that on Netflix the other day, and my girlfriend looked around to me and she was just like, no, don't you even think about it. And I was like genuinely about to click on it. Just like, yeah, fucking White Ranger, bitch.
And that dude's like, oh, and she's like, what's the matter? He goes, I'm a frog. Like, yes, bitch. Yes, you're a frog. You know why? Because I don't like you.
But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog. Why even? Can you imagine how bad Dr. Eggman's gonna look, or whatever he's called?
Who would you get to play Eggman?
Probably the guy who played Kingpin.
I'd say Jack Black.
Oh my God, are you trying to ruin this?
Jack Black, kind of. I'll throw eggs at you. Like,
he'd have no career. He'd have no career left at all. It was just like, what was? Remember Jack Black, the guy who died fucking playing Dr. Eggman?
He has to be that kind of build, though, doesn't he? Almost maybe Abraham out of Walking Dead, he would never touch it, but you know, he has a ginger mustache. So, as well, I mean, I'm quickly moving through these because there's like with New York Comic Con, obviously we've got so much coming out of it. Bill and Ted Face the Music. They're making a third Bill and Ted. Like, first of all, I read this and I thought, oh fuck no. But then I thought, hold on, actually, to see Keanu Reeves go from John Wick to Bill and Ted again, that would be pretty fucking spectacular. You know, I want to see this. I'm well up for it. Like, I love Bill and Ted. It's up there with my retro classics. You know, it's one of those things that if it was on the weekend, nothing would get me out of that living room. I'd be sat there in front of the TV. I'd definitely watch that shit. I loved it. So,
yeah, I was never a massive fan of Bill and Ted, to be honest. It's like
because you're fucking gay. That's why. It's watching My Little Pony and fucking Clarissa Explains It All.
You leave Spangles out of this. I don't know. I just never. Do you know what? Please Google My Little Pony. If Spangles is a name of one of them, I am gonna shit myself.
I was gonna say Sabrina the Teenage Witch, like Melissa Joan Hart.
Really?
No, I was joking. Fuck off.
I was gonna say that would make you a little
Turtles.
bit of a paedophile. She hasn't been on TV since she was 14.
What were you saying?
Never really massive into Bill and Ted, to be honest. It's just one of those things that, not that I've got anything against it or anything, I just never really got into it like people did. You know how like you get some people as well, and I like this film, don't get me wrong, but some people are like massive into Wayne's World, who know every quote, and it's just like, party on, Garth! And when people do that, I'm just like, yeah, I've seen that film too. I get the reference. It's funny, but it's like some people get massive into it, and everyone that I've ever met who are into Bill and Ted are like proper into Bill and Ted. So,
it'd be good. I was always intrigued with how well Keanu Reeves went from kind of that dopey ass fucking character to Speed. In Speed, he was on it. He was like a proper action hero. So to go from that to that was always just like, wow, okay, that's pretty fucking impressive. That was probably one of my first examples of being really impressed with how well an actor can, amazing. So yeah, I mean, watch his space.
Yeah.
Sorry, guy next door banging. I don't want to go on too.
Yeah.
How long have we been going for?
We got room. What else we got? Right, okay. Pitch something else to me. I will either take a big steaming shit on it, or we can get into it.
Oh no, because you are going to take a shit on this, and I really want it to happen and be good.
Go on.
So okay, Spawn, the new Spawn reboot.
Why would I take a shit on that?
Because I don't want to say it. Because you're a Marvel fan, and nothing else matters but Marvel.
You make me sound like I'm a fucking rapist.
No, I've got a few issues with this reboot. It sounds like it's going to be brilliant because it's done with guys that have made amazing things with small budgets and movies. However, right, they've given it a budget of 10 million to make a superhero movie.
Okay, so I remember you were saying this, and what was the original 40 million?
The 40 million was for the 1998 version.
Okay, so don't get put off by that. While you're doing this, have a Google of what something like Dunkirk cost to make. Trust me. Yeah, just have a quick Google. Something that's like relevant nowadays. The big Marvel movies, they'll take hundreds and hundreds of millions to make. Yeah. That's fair enough. But you can make a decent film with not that much of a budget.
I think what he's doing is he's not paying his actors straight up. I think what he's doing is he's saying to the actors, you can take a cut of the profits instead, which is a very clever way. I mean, it's a gamble for any actor. And Todd McFarlane is one of my heroes. If you've ever seen him at a Comic-Con show, if you've ever he does videos on Facebook, YouTube, like where he will show you how to draw Batman or Spawn or Captain America or whoever, because he's really fucking talented and he's a great people person. Like he loves the camera and the camera loves him. But he is saying he's got A-list actors already involved with this, and So he's promising this and he's promising that. So I hope he sticks to his word because I fucking love that guy.
Well, the thing is, it's like, not to put it on the same pedestal, but with Star Wars, you had like A-listers calling up saying, "Can I do a free part in this movie as a stormtrooper?" No credit, they just wanted to be part of something, and like I don't think it would work. I don't think it's going to catch on in terms of like kickstarting movies. Essentially, is what he's trying to do. Is almost like, come on, free labor. You can put your pre-order in via Kickstarter. Like, it's not going to catch on because the industry it isn't there. But in certain things like this, and Deadpool would have worked the same way. It's one of those films that's like, so many fans have been crying out about it. It's got all these actors who are into their comic books, love the IP. They're going to want to be part of it. So I'm not really too worried about the budget. I'll eat crow if it comes out and it's shit, and it could be. I'm not going to lie. It stands more chance of being shit than a movie that didn't have the budget. That's just 2 and 2 equals 4. But I'll hold my reservations for the moment.
I mean, I've more than DC, more than Marvel, more than anything, I really want this movie to be good because Spawn was my lean-to into comics. That was the first comic book I picked up and read, which is, as a 13-year-old boy, whatever it was, probably wasn't the greatest idea because it's made for adults. Like, them comic books are made for adults, put it that way.
Yeah, that's like taking your first summer camp down in fucking spending a week with Coney in Africa in the Congo.
Yeah. I mean, I've got so much time for that franchise, so I really want it to be good. But I will be honest. If it's shit, I will be honest. Right. So, watch this space. Yes. Keep our fingers crossed for that. Now, where do you want to go next? Because we've covered films. There's a lot. Biggie. We forgot the fucking Biggie.
What
Star
Biggie?
Wars, bitch. Star Wars, bitch.
Right. Okay. So, I don't even know where to start with this. I've got me because there's been a lot of Star Wars at the moment. With like, we're going to get into in a few minutes, like the Battlefront beta and all that kind of stuff. All I am doing at the moment is I'm filling my life with Star Wars shit. And that trailer, I was just like, oh my god. Tell me I'm wrong, but the amount of hype that's surrounding this at the moment, I think it could be probably bigger than number 7.
Yeah, I mean, well, 7, Force Awakens was it was literally the name of the title, wasn't it? It was Force Awakens. Hello, we're still here.
Yep.
Star Wars, we're back, and now people watched it, and they've got that hunger again. So yeah, I mean, it's going to make more money. I think I predict it to make more money, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be better. I hope it is. It does look amazing. It looks fantastic, but
the thing is, just from the trailer, you don't know what's going to happen with, like, the biggest part of this to me is this is going to be a film about light and dark. It's going to be like, which side is each character going to fall on? Is Luke going to stay light? Is he already dark? What's going on? Like, what's going to happen with Rey? What's going to happen with Kylo? I've been reading a lot of stuff, like, you know how like the Star Wars theories goes, like, who's Snoke? Is it Darth Vader? Is it Darth Plagueis? Is it this, that, and the other? Is it fucking Jar Jar Binks? There's lots of conspiracy stuff out there, and a lot of people were talking when I was getting into conversations about Kylo, about you know, the Han scene. Yeah. People were joining dots where I personally don't think there's dots. To me, because obviously we can get away with talking about what happened in number 7 now, can't we? Surely.
If you haven't seen number 7 and you listen to Thors-Kin, which is the geeky podcast, then go and throw yourself off a bridge.
Yeah, seriously, do that, because basically Kylo kills Han Solo.
We just lost 5 listeners.
Oh no! You mean all of our listeners never seen Star Wars? So yeah, and like there's a bit in that where he is because he's like saying thank you and stuff like that. There was a thing going around where basically he was trying to get back to the light side, where he is trying to keep up this persona of being on the dark side and Han Solo knew that he had to let himself be killed so that he could basically remain an insider Sith, basically. Yeah, essentially, and to stay alive. I think it's all bullshit. I think Kylo Ren is just a sadistic motherfucker who I think he struggles, but I think he wants to be on that dark side, and he's willing to manipulate and be this cunt every step of the way.
I think it's the opposite. I think you're wrong. I truly believe that he is trying to be dark. He is trying to be as evil as he can. But you see a few snippets in that movie where he has to kind of convince himself to do these things. He has to kind of, because he does say I think there was a time when he was saying, bring me out of the darkness, bring me out of the light, bring me out of the light. Something, so he's trying to be evil, but he's something good about him. I think you see a snippet in the new trailer where Luke Skywalker's like, I've seen a power like this before, and I'm scared. I think Rey has got too much power. I think she's too powerful to be good, and I think Kylo Ren is.
You think they're going to flip flop?
I think so. I really do think so. I think that he's going to help. He's going to help her, and Rey's just going to be too powerful for it. He's just going to be like, "Whoa, I can't help you any further." Like, and I honestly think Rey needs to be shot. We've got a Dark Phoenix thing going on here.
There is this thing, isn't it? Whether it's it's not going to be all of one scene, but if it is all of one scene, there's Rey saying, "Help me figure out where I fit into all of this," and Kylo puts out his hand. And all of this stuff about him coming back over to the light side and all that kind of stuff. I think you could be right, but just part of me thinks that they're putting that stuff in there, that hesitation when he does bad stuff, to make you think there's going to be some redemption. And every time, if he fails each and every time, it's going to make you hate him more. It's going to be like, right, I've hung my emotions on a chance of you coming back to the good side, and you've let me down. You're a dick. And I think that's how you build up a good villain. I think it's like people maybe, I could be completely wrong, but maybe people like trying to draw dots where there aren't, draw lines between the dots where there aren't none. Or maybe it's just clever, or maybe I'm completely wrong.
Or maybe it's just Star Wars fans fantasizing about nothing. That's normal.
Do you know what, though? I love to see someone become a good villain, though. I'd love to see Rey turn bad.
Oh, mate, it's going to happen. I really do think it's going to happen.
Can you imagine, like, an all-powerful, dark female Sith?
Oh,
how
mate,
badass
amazing.
Would that be? That would be fucking
so
wicked.
Fucking she cracks the fucking island. You see it? She cracks a fucking island. Like, I'm telling you now, and I reckon like Snoke's gonna come walking up to her. He's gonna flop his ears out.
It's me all along, y'all.
I think what's gonna happen is Snoke's gonna drop Kylo like a fucking lead brick, bam, and he's gonna be like, well, actually, I want you instead. You're the shit. Fuck Kylo.
Yes, that would be interesting. Who do you think Snoke's gonna be? Do you think he is gonna be Darth Vader? Do you think he's a completely different character?
They burned his body. How can it be Darth Vader? If he's Darth Vader, he'd come up like a ghost,
But look at him. Look how fucked up he is.
That could be that could be Palpatine. You saw him fall through the hole in a super spaceship, and all lightning and shit, and it blow up. But you didn't see him actually die.
But his face is disfigured, all in the same places that the Darth Vader mask is all disfigured. It's got this.
I'd like it to be
at that same point down there. I know it won't. He's going to be a new character. They're going to be like, right, we're moving forward. Like Luke is the only throwback, but
because there's rumors of him after this 3 carrying it on. They want about because at first they were saying no, we're going to do these 3, but there are like slight rumors in the geek sphere that they're going to do another 3. So you need a new character. You can't just there's no more Skywalkers left. Goodbye Star Wars. So,
do you know what I'd like to see them do more though? Is these Star Wars stories? Is for now leave it at that 3, then give it another 5-6 years, and then do another 3. Have a gap of more than just 12 months between the films, and have go back to the Clone Wars.
I'd like to see an Old Republic movie. I love an Old Republic movie.
Yeah, because with the Star Wars stories, can you imagine like a full movie around Order 66?
Yeah.
Do you imagine how fucking brutal that would be?
Exactly. Well, watch this space. I mean, what do you think about the new Han Solo movie coming up?
I don't know.
I'll watch it.
Han Solo is literally like my... Oh my god, people are going to hate me. Han Solo is my least favourite part of Star Wars, to be honest.
I love him. I think what they need to do, though, is rather than get a new actor to play Han Solo, is they need to dig Harrison Ford out of his grave.
He's not actually dead. You mean like...
He's not dead? No, it's a shame. It's a shame they didn't think of this when he was younger. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna. I just hope they haven't chose the wrong. Sorry, I got a pink hand from last night. I hope they haven't chose the wrong actor. You know, I don't want it to look. I don't want.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. To be perfectly honest, I'd be quite happy with a full CGI film, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't give a crap because they've taken it to crazy levels at the moment.
But you know what? It could be a perfect fucking movie, but Star Wars fans, they're going to shit on it anyway because they shit on everything.
You leave Star Wars fans out of it.
Fucking right. Porgs, they're the most adorable, funny-looking little motherfuckers that Star Wars has ever made. And people are shitting on them. Oh, they've ruined Star Wars by adding porgs into them. How the fuck's it ruined Star Wars? The tiny little things that follow Chewbacca around. That is amazing. Like Star Wars fans, they need to take a fucking chill pill because they get offended by everything, and it really annoys me. Like this whole shit with that, the poster. It's like almost like an ink blot, isn't it? Like people are seeing Darth Vader. Somebody's turned it around and seen.
I can see Jesus.
Fuck off, man. They just piss me off so much. Just enjoy a movie. Like enjoy it, follow it. Fucking praise it, and then look forward to the next one instead of picking at it and finding flaws and things. Just enjoy life. Do you know what I mean?
Oh my god! So I watched the Star Wars trailer, and I was cooking toast at the time, and the toast came out the toaster, and there was Jar Jar Binks' face in my toast.
Exactly. Now every time I watch Star Wars, I smell toast.
No, I know what you mean. That happens with everything, though. I think the one thing I will say is that Star Wars for me, I'm getting back into it now as much as I always used to be, and it was one of my favorite, like more than Marvel, more than like guilty pleasure like Dragon Ball Z stuff, more than my games and everything. Star Wars was that massive thing for me. When I was a bit younger, I'm getting that fire back for it now, I think.
Yeah, and that's good. That's what they want you to do, you know. Disney are very clever at mind fucking everyone and bringing them back to the dark side, you know, because that's what they do. But they're making great things. So watch this space. I mean, Rogue One was pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
I love Rogue One. So they can spin off and make it good. So you know, watch this space. I'm really looking forward to it. So actually, that's created a perfect segue.
Shall I do a little bit of magical pausing? So we can do a little segue.
Sound effect, though.
Super swish. Swish. Go on then. What we...
Star Wars Battlefront. Let's get onto it.
Well, okay. No. Oh, yeah, let's do it now. Fuck it. Right. So, Star Wars Battlefront beta. Played the...
I couldn't play it. Get on.
Physically wouldn't allow you to get on.
Wouldn't let me. There are a select few people. I've googled it. There are a select few people in the world that just couldn't get on, and I don't know why. Nobody knows why.
They took Santa's naughty list and went right. There you go.
Like Jar Jar. Fucking.
Oh, dude, Star Wars. Oh my god.
I saw your gameplay though. It looks fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, what I'm going to do as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm going to get the roundup of it done because that was supposed to go up a few days ago and I haven't had a chance. So that's going to be available for people to watch before we go into it now if you want just the breakdown of it. But you know what? I'm going to just go balls deep in it still. Basically, what this is everything that the the first Battlefront, as in the new version of it a couple of years ago, should have been. It's everything that the old Battlefront 2 was, but brought up to modern day standards. So you might disagree or agree with me here. I'm a big fan of like when a game can get its UI right, and like the menus and the fonts are all accessible and readable and it's laid out correctly, whether that's like a bit of OCD or not, but when they get that right in games, it makes the whole thing just feel so much better. And with that, they've got literally just 3 boxes on the main menu. They've got campaign, multiplayer, and arcade. What more does a game need? So, like, they've got the campaign mode. I know that sounds silly, but it's just like present it to you in a way, because everyone was moaning about the game types. In the first one, this has like, it probably only end up with the same amount of game types, but they present it to you in the right way. You're going to say something, mate. Go on before I get too deep into this. I was going to say
the first one looked almost like Windows 10, didn't it? There was like so many little boxes you can click on, and it was quite confusing. So you're right. Yeah, they've done it in the more simple way.
Yeah, so they're going to have the campaign, which obviously you couldn't play in the beta, but was you got a bit of a snippet. It looks like it's going to be awesome. It's like almost an interactive Star Wars story, like Rogue One was to films, if that makes sense, where it's completely canon, so Disney aren't going to let people fuck that up and actually be canon. It's going to have the quality control in there, checking everything. So single player is going to be the campaign is going to be what it is. They've got the multiplayer and the arcade mode in there as well. So with arcade, you've got a list of all the game types that were like in the first one. You know how you had scenarios, if you will, where you could, like, there was a scenario where you were in an AT-AT and you had to go from point A to point B, and you had to get a high score. Basically, they've still got all that stuff in there, but then they've just got custom battles where you're going to be able to select your map, your game type, and or you go against all the AI, customize and set up all of the rules. And you know how. Did you ever play Battlefront 2 back on the first one?
No, we had this conversation last week, and I missed it because I wasn't that rich.
Okay, perhaps like with Halo custom games, then how you can go in and edit all the stuff. You're going to be able to do all that kind of stuff with it. So you don't have to go into like a lobby where, like, call me like a dirty little casual or something. But the way that I like to play my Star Wars games is I want to go against stormtroopers who can't hit a fucking target from 2 feet away. I want it on easy mode so I can just slaughter motherfuckers. Or at least when I'm in the mood to do that, I want the game mode available to me. So they're gonna have all of that kind of stuff in there. And you can do it all split screen, you can do all of that kind of stuff, but then they got the multiplayer. And in the multiplayer they've got I forget the game mode, but it's like Galactic Assault. It was something like that, which is basically all of your big games where they've got like 40 aside or something. You've got space battles, then
that looks amazing.
You've got team deathmatch, you've got team objective, and then you've got hero mode. So you've got 5 game modes, and that's your multiplayer. And because they've what's it named, given you all the map packs for free, they don't need to keep adding playlists and splitting up the player base. They can just stick to those 5 game modes, and it's like, what, all your maps are in there, everyone can access them. We've not locked it behind DLC and all that bullshit. But into the actual game itself, it's essentially more of the same but more polished. But they've gone back to the class-based system instead of like before. You'd never get to play as a hero because unless you knew where and when the hero pickup on the battlefield was going to actually spawn, you'd never get it. So I think even now I've played as like Luke Skywalker twice in Battlefront 1. But in this, they've got this a class system. So they've got Assault, Support, Scout, and Officer, which all have their own weapons. You can still set up your star cards like in the first one. But then you earn battle points throughout the game. So every kill, every streak, every this, that, and the other, you earn battle points, and you can spend them on getting tanks, special like you jump troopers, you shadow troopers. And then when you've earned 5,000, and if you haven't spent those on the smaller level things, you can bring in Darth Maul or Rey or someone like that, or Boba Fett. So
Darth Maul looks amazing. He looks fucking. Everybody just wants to be Darth Maul, don't they?
Yeah, everyone moans about Phantom Menace, but everyone's favourite character is Darth Maul. It's just Darth Maul, yeah. So it's completely balanced in the way of just like if you've got. Yes, it's unbalanced in a way. If you're amazing, you're always going to be able to get that hero, and that's going to give you a boost. Fair enough, but there's then always ways to counter that hero. So, and that person's then got to save up for it as well. But what it does, it gives everyone a chance to be a hero each and every match. I don't think I had one match where I didn't get close to it or get it. So the class system's fucking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it looks impressive to me, and I didn't get to play the beta. So just on what I've seen, without even getting my hands on it, I still want it.
Yeah.
I think we decided we're going to get that, didn't we? Because we like to find games to play together online and stuff. I think I'm going to get Call of Duty, and I'm going to get Battlefront.
Yeah,
we're going to rip it online.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, across the campaign, the multiplayer for when you're feeling like you actually want to earn your stuff, and then the offline modes. That's the biggest thing for me, is having a fully fleshed out offline mode. Games don't do it nowadays, and it pisses me off because I don't want to go in a match, especially a dice game, where it's heavy and it's clunky, and it's just that side of the edge of the knife where it's like that clunkiness is a good thing because you feel the weight of your character and your gun. But what that does mean is it's not like Call of Duty or Halo where it's like you can go and murder fools. Like that's the kind of game that I'm good at. I'm not good at Star Wars. I'm not good at Battlefield. I want to be able to relax playing those kind of games. So to have an offline game mode fully fleshed out is huge for me.
And I think with the uprise of all these retro consoles, like you can just sit and play with your friends. They're realizing, they're listening to the fans, they're clever, they listen, and they realize that at the moment people are asking for games they could like the other morning when we were sat hungover in my living room. How good would it have been just to throw on a game we can just put on split screen and play together? You know,
exactly.
That's what people want.
Exactly.
So
and like
give it to them.
Even Halo, the king of split screen games as I was growing up, they took it out in Halo 5. So like I've gone back and done the story in that 2-3 times, whereas before all the other Halo games I've gone through a couple of more than that myself, but then I've gone through it with my girlfriend, I've gone through it with friends, online, all matchmaking, all of that kind of stuff, and it's like split screen, bring it back. Listen to people. Like if your game can accommodate it, just do it. Do offline game modes as well. But that's gonna lead me into something, and we will get onto the Hollywood stuff straight after this. If you want to. But I'm going to do my dickhead of the week now, if I can. If I'm allowed, sir.
Yes. What I'll do is, you do your dickhead of... You do your dickhead of the week, then I'm going to do mine, and then we'll go into the big story afterwards. It's going to be kind of like a sandwich in between.
Yeah, yeah, we're going to be jumping all around the place here. But so basically, it's less of a dickhead of the week and more of a dickhead concept of the week. And I'm bringing it up now so that we can stick on with the Star Wars beta as an example. Is fucking all I have heard about all this week is microtransactions. Oh. So Forza 7 comes out, and there is this campaign of all the big media trying to dog Forza 7 for having microtransactions where it doesn't. Star Wars Battlefront comes out, and everyone's creaming over it, and then all of a sudden people figure out how the star card system works and start kicking up a fuss about microtransactions, going as far as to saying it's pay to win. And then with Shadow of War just coming out, they've got loot boxes there, and basically on Metacritic it's scoring 85s on average on Metacritic. The user score is in the 2s because people are review bombing it because it's got microtransactions in it. And I kind of wanted just to go on a little rant because microtransactions basically have got this negative stigma because they're a Candy Crush thing. They were horse armor in Oblivion on the 360. That's where that was like one of the first console things. Like, give us £5 to get golden horse armor in Oblivion. It's like, what? People were like, what the fuck? Like, why? What? No, just no. But the thing is, right? I'm going to just take this in steps. So the first part is when people sort of half agree with cosmetic loot boxes and stuff like that, where you're getting armor that doesn't affect gameplay. People often go, okay, I can dig that, but as long as it doesn't affect gameplay. Here's the thing. Even if you've got star cards that give you abilities that you can buy and therefore get more abilities quicker than someone who just plays it, even if you can buy orcs in Shadow of Mordor or abilities for them or whatever it is, I don't know too much about that side of things with Shadow of War, or even if you could buy cars, whatever it is, with real money. The fact is that if your gripe is that as long as it doesn't impact gameplay, if I was to jump into a game and you were to kill me, I would not know whether the gun or ability that you've used to kill me was earned through your money or through grinding for gameplay in-game points. It affects no one, even when there are gameplay impacts in microtransactions. And go on.
I was gonna say, well, I was a big fan of Forza Horizon 3, and that was microtransaction crazy, right? You could buy car packs, single cars. You could buy cars that are a lot better than people's, on the vanilla, the original game. And I would still kick people's asses. It's at the end of the day, even if you've got a better car than someone, you're still going to have to drive pretty decent to beat a fucker like me. Do you know what I mean? So
exactly.
You're right.
And the thing is, like, I get if there was this big thing where it's like, if someone buys that particular thing, they're going to win every game. But everyone has access to that same pack. They can all buy that as well. And everyone can then just earn it. So you're going to have no idea unless you're every kill. And if you are this kind of person, right, this is going out to, if there's any listeners that you're like, no, I'm disagreeing with you right now. If I'm just about to describe you, you need to reconsider how you're gaming. If you are the kind of person who in a multiplayer match gets killed, so they bring up that person's player card, looks at their profile, looks at how long that they've been playing the game, and then does the maths of whether they've been able to earn that ability or gun or whatever it is, or whether they must have bought it, then you need to kind of figure out if there are more important things in your life than a problem with microtransactions. And the thing is, right,
well, I have a problem with that, sir. I think all gamers' lives matters. You can't just single people out, okay? I'm really fucking triggered by that. You can't say that, motherfucker.
Wow. The thing is as well, like, just to wrap it up, is that these big games, they take fucking insane hundreds and hundreds of millions to make. Yes, they come from big companies, but there's no guarantee that those games are going to sell. Lawbreakers, Cliffy B, the fucking god of all developers, apparently, his game last week dropped to 10 people playing it. Like, there's no one with that was Lawbreakers. There's no one with immunity at all. Like, there's so many games that are flopping because of there's so much competition. So even, maybe a bit of an extreme example, but even your Star Wars, it's not a guaranteed thing. Destiny 2, it's doing 50% of the sales as Destiny 1, and everyone was thinking that was going to come out and sell twice as many, yet it sold half as much. Yes, that is physical sales in just America as an example, so it's a snippet, but still the concept's there. So if they have to flesh out like post-launch earnings with microtransactions and they don't affect you, and that guarantees their ability to say, okay, we can get away with investing $500 million into this game, don't kick up a fuss, because if they listen to you, guess what's going to happen? They're going to start charging you for map packs again. And then your matchmaking's going to take longer.
I would prefer microtransactions and have the whole game
then everything be split up into DLC. Because who the fuck wants that? I mean, they were saying that maybe it's good to invest sort of 70 to 100 pound in one game and enjoy it for the year rather than keep buying a game every month and doing that. But like, there are so many amazing games coming out now. Who the fuck can afford to do that with both Call of Duty, Battlefront, FIFA, if you like, Forza? Who can afford to do that with 4 different games? No one can. So give us the full game and give people their microtransactions and shut the fuck up.
Yeah. If you want to then spend that extra little bit on the game that you want to get the extra stuff, it's your money. Affects no one else, even the game changing. That's I think my biggest point. It was because you get abilities and you get actual stuff in Star Wars. So it's like you can take the argument that it's impacting gameplay, but like I said, unless you're going to research that player and then call them up and say, "Excuse me, did you pay for that ability?" You're not going to fucking know. Get good.
There's that game mode in FIFA where you get the ultimate player. Well, I forgot what it's called now. Ultimate Championship, where you can buy
Ultimate
stuff,
Team,
Ultimate. That's the one, motherfucker. But that, I mean, in that respect, it can affect gameplay because you can buy the best players and start out straight away. But at the same time, it goes on player ability. If you're going to struggle, there are millions of people online. If you're going to struggle beating that one person, find someone you can beat.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else. Like, there are millions and millions and millions of people playing that game. You're going to find someone that you can match evenly, So
exactly. So yeah. Anyway, that's my dickhead concept of the week.
My dickhead of the week, if we can move on, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is dickheads of the week, and that is a band called Neck Deep. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're a big band in America. They actually came from North Wales, but they're quite big in America. They play rock music and stuff. And they had a gig, I think it was 2 weeks ago, something like that. And where was it? Basically, their fans were getting ripped out by security. I think they were crowd surfing. Those guards that stand at the front of the stage and stop people from jumping on the stage and crowd surfing and fighting and things like that. Well, they were dragging a few people out because they were acting bad. And rather than Neck Deep appreciate their security and thank them for the fans going a bit crazy, they started attacking the guards. They started kicking it. I've just put it on my personal Facebook page. Now I will put it on Thors-Kin later so you can have a gawp at this. But there are literally band members kicking the shoulders of security off the fans, and they had to cancel the gig. They had to stop the gig and go because of their actions. Like, what the fuck? I mean,
is this the band? They're not that old, are they? Neck Deep?
No, they're not. And
they're a bunch of jumped up, immature, fucking self-entitled cunts because they've made it. That's what it is.
Yeah, well, they're from where I grew up in North Wales in Wrexham. There was one of the videos was them, their music videos is them walking around Wrexham. That's why I quite liked them at first. And I mean, I'll give them the odd listen. They're not really, they're a bit whiny for me, but they've made it big. They're a big band in America. They're absolutely killing it at the moment. But you can't do that. I mean, I know you're trying to protect your fans and you've got your fan base to look after, but them security guards are there for a reason. They're not there to be stamped on by fucking jumped up little pricks like you just said. Like, they've shot themselves in the foot there. I mean, I read last week. I read the comments. They put an apology up after the night after the gig, and I read comments from their long following fans, and they were disgusted with him. Like, you can't. Well, thanks for like kicking the security guards out of there. Protect everyone. Like, what is wrong with you? I'm gonna put the video up and you're gonna be shocked. Honestly, it's unbelievable. So yeah, if you are gonna make it big, appreciate the fact that those security guards are there to protect you and not to be stamped on. Okay, so it's not quite as big as yours, but I was just a bit appalled by it, to be honest.
Yeah, that's shocking though. That's bullshit.
Yeah. And we have a joint dickhead of the week. I think everyone in this planet has a joint dickhead of the week that we can all sit and talk about. And we're going to do, I don't want to cover it for too long because it's quite a sordid.
Yeah, well, we've got basically, there's a few different points to this, so we'll just leapfrog from one example to another. So do you want to sort of introduce... everyone, we've touched on it a couple of times. Go on.
We're talking about Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, man.
Well, I did the intro just then as Harvey. I mean, you shouldn't poke fun at sexual harassment and the things he's been doing. But I mean, I'm not being right. Okay, so Harvey Weinstein. Okay, him and his brothers made a company called Harvey Weinstein Productions, and everyone's seen those silver W's come up at the beginning of movies. They made some of the biggest movies out there. As well as giving people their big breaks, like Kev Smith. Like all the movies, the early movies by Kev Smith were made by Weinstein, and so yeah, they're big players in Hollywood. But it's come out that Harvey Weinstein has had a long history of sexual harassment and sexual indecency towards women, especially up and coming actresses. Basically, he's one of these that would say like, well, if you wanna roll in my movie, you've got to suck my dick. You know,
yeah. Just take a seat on that casting couch in a minute and don't mind the camera.
And it's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting. You can't. It's abusing power, and it's
right. Can I ask a question? Because I haven't been following this in complete depth. What examples are we talking about? Are we talking about he's getting his dick out and slapping it around people's faces, or is he just having a cheeky grope of an arse here and there?
He's apparently walked up to Terry Crews and grabbed him by his dick, and to make him feel uncomfortable. And it was like early in Terry Crews' career, and he felt like he couldn't push it because as a black guy, you know, trying to make it in the film business, as soon as you push someone or anything, that's it. Then the black actor attacks film producer. He felt like he couldn't, so he's grabbed his fucking dick, like, you know. And I read it's quite like, I'm not a big Kate Beckinsale fan. Like, I appreciate her, but wrote a story basically saying that when she was 17 in America, America's too young. Okay, that's underage, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically, as she was up and coming as an actress, Harvey Weinstein invited her to the Savoy Hotel, which is a normal thing to do, you know, if it's a press conference or something like that. But she is actually invited to his room, which she thought was a bit off, but she still went, naive and you know, craving fame. She went up and he offered her alcohol, and she turned it down, and then made a pass at her, which she again turned down. And then a few years later, he came up to Beckinsale as she's now an actress working in Hollywood, and actually forgot about that. And he actually said, "I didn't make a pass at you, did he? Did I? You know." So like he'd forgot it even happened. So even if he'd have assaulted her or something, he wouldn't have remembered. He was taking that much drink and drugs, like he wouldn't have remembered anyway. So there's just no soul. These guys got no soul. And apparently throughout her career, he made continuous passes at Kate Beckinsale, in which she turned down. And one of the phrases that she remembers him saying was, "Kate lives to say no to me," and then would laugh. So like, she lives to say no to me. Like, this bitch won't accept my, you know, what the fuck, man? Like, and this is just one example, you know, him constantly pestering women to have sex with him so that he can push their career forward or what have you, you know.
Yeah, I think there's a difference, isn't there? There's a line that you cross where you can be jokey and flirty, and you can have a laugh, and you can get on with what would be your work colleagues, and you can have that sort of I wouldn't say like a tension relationship with someone, but like you can joke about it. You've got that sort of like back and forth between you, at least. And like if they were like both on the red carpet, and like everyone knows like, oh, they've got a little thing for each other, and they're always doing that little thing and nudge and wink, and in their interviews they're all flirty. And it's like, I think I've seen like Will Smith with some actors like that, and it's like oh Christ! I think it was him and Margot Robbie as well. I was watching some interviews they did with her Suicide Squad, and they were like not all over each other, but like they were proper, like in each other's pockets and admiring each other and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, that's fine if it's like mutual and stuff like that, and even if it's more one way than the other, as long as it's not crossing that boundary. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be one of those things where it's opening a can of worms, and a lot of people are going to come out. And the problem is that once that can of worms is opened, I kind of feel like a lot of people jump on the ship.
and it's going to happen. I mean, I remember it was Elijah Wood or someone like that did say. I think they were talking about the Jimmy Savile stuff, you know, and a lot of stuff that's been going on in the UK. And I think it might not have been Elijah Wood. It might have been somebody, but somebody said, "Well, wait till you get a load of Hollywood. Like Hollywood is worse, and there's some big name actors and things that are going to come out in the woodwork as being monsters, you know." And people have hinted at it. There's been movies like the whole casting couch thing. That's a parody of what people understand goes on in Hollywood. You know, the movies that are made, comedies and things, are about directors making passes at.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's yeah, just fiddle around with your mic a little bit. It's getting some real buzz, and it's not off all the coke I've been sniffing.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of things coming up. So we'll watch this and see where it goes.
Yeah,
but I don't think we should tread too more on it. Because,
well, one last point on it as well, because that's why I kind of brought up the whole opening the can of worms thing. Just today, actually, one of the guys at Naughty Dog, which is obviously Sony's big studio that do The Last of Us and Uncharted, comes out, and one of apparently the lead designers there that was working at the team, he came out and basically put his story out there, and it was Terry Crews's story that inspired him to talk about it. And basically the lead designer there, the person working on the team, the same thing happened with him, and he called Sony up, because obviously it's a first party studio, so it's Sony who own them, and basically said, look, this has happened. They hung up on him. The following day called him up and said, basically the business is moving in a different direction. Your job is no longer required at the company. And then they tried to pay him off 20 grand to not talk about it. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? Some shady shit. It is, yeah, some real shady shit. But I think, like, I don't want to, like, I'm not bringing that up so that I can go on a high horse of, like, console war-y stuff. But it's like, that's I've talked about it before. It's like some of the reasons that I've only just got into, like, the PlayStation side of things is a lot of, like, I read between the lines on a lot of, like, company policies and stuff. And I see a lot of shady shit going on in the background. Like, I don't appreciate, like, the brick wall that they're putting up against, like, crossplay and stuff like that, just as an example. And it's like, when it gives an aura of a certain mentality, and when they're hit on the back of that, where they're on the back foot in terms of press at the moment, of we sacked someone, we fucking, like, fired them the following day and tried to pay them off to not talk about it instead of actually doing something about the problem. It doesn't work well for them at the moment.
And that's because they'd probably lose a big name that would make a product that would make them money, you know?
Exactly.
So rather than lose that money from that thing that they're making at the time, they'd rather bury it under the rug. And those people, those managers, those producers and things, they will get caught up with. They will do. Yep. And even if it's like things from the 80s, you know, the 90s, people have done it in the past. They will look at Rolf Harris, Bill Cosby, all historical cases, and all end up with jail convictions. So we're probably going to get kicked off YouTube for saying shit like this, but, you know, watch your fucking space.
Yeah, it certainly wouldn't be suitable for advertisers.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to move on from that, okay? But, you know, big story. I think it's superhero buff. What?
I just wanted to interrupt you mid flow of superhero buff, like, to be honest. No, I was going to say something, but, you know, internet lag. I do apologise, good sir.
Am I okay to go? Yeah. Superhero buffer. Here we go again. This is our favourite segment of the week.
We should have got this sorted up before. We keep doing this, man. So unorganised. It's not organic. It's like you get 5 minutes of silence where, like, you have to start chatting about how unorganised we are, as if it's like an actual thing where we've planned to fill in the gaps.
Okay, so number 50.
Yeah.
Versus number 34. So 50 and 34, which is Da-da-da-da.
If it's Jean Grey, I'm
50
leaving the
is-
fucking show.
50 is Captain America versus the Punisher.
Oh, wow.
Captain America versus the Punisher.
I wasn't expecting, of all the people, you'd be like, oh, who's a good, what's it name, like, match for Captain America? I'd never put Punisher in there, but, like, his tenacity would be insane.
I think
like,
Captain America doesn't stand a chance. If I'm honest, like, I don't know actually, because he could just sit in a.
It's like Light and Dark are the same thing. Like, the thing is, Captain America is a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Like, this is one that they could literally have a bar fight with, because Captain America will be chilling out having a gin and tonic or whatever gay shit he drinks after being thawed out. It's just like, hold the ice, I've had enough of that. And he's a lot more powerful. Like, in a straight fist fight, Punisher's face would be mulch. But yeah, with the full arsenal and stuff like that, you've got. I get that Captain America's a soldier, and I'm saying this. Captain America is my favourite superhero, so just putting that out there first. He's got his shield, and he is a soldier, so he's weapons trained, but he knows how to work like an MP40 and a Garand or whatever, however you're supposed to pronounce it. He's not like that. You saw him in Avengers when he was proper hip firing like that M16, like he was in Call of Duty when he was on the helicarrier. He picked it, was like, I'm gonna rat-a-tat-tat down by my. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Whereas the Punisher, he'd be yeah.
Oh, hungry. He's like, he doesn't give up, does he? I mean,
No.
we saw him in season 2 of Daredevil. Like, even when he's like what did they drill through his knee or something like that? They're drilling into him and they would tortured him, and he still got up and started just destroying things. And
Yeah, I reckon what would happen is basically, the scene, superhero bar fight starts out, he's having his gin and tonic with no ice, and basically Punisher isn't even in the bar. What happens is, that scene out of Daredevil where it's all the Irish in the bar? It's just going absolutely mental. The walls are caving in. And as the dust settle in, I think Captain America might have just managed to get his shield and hid behind it. At that point, when the Punisher runs out of ammo, it's going to get messy for him.
I've got a different idea. So the machine gun that's outside your bar at the moment is a remote one. It's a bit like Breaking Bad. It's a remote gun. It goes. Captain America's drawn to it, so he's aiming his shield at protect himself from the bullets. The Punisher walks out of the bathroom, walks behind Captain America, and slits his throat. Done.
That's nice and easy.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
That's it.
That could actually happen.
Yeah.
I think as soon as Captain America clocks him, that's it. Punisher's going to lose. But
he's an ex-mercenary. He's ex-special forces. He knows how to create a decoy, and that's exactly what he'd do. Is set up a trap, almost perfectly. He would have him. I'm sorry, but I know you love Captain America, but I think
what the problem is that we're putting Captain America on the back foot. Like, he's just chilling, having a drink on a Friday afternoon. Whereas, for some reason, the fucking Punisher has had reason to prepare for months and, knows exactly where he's going to be and all that kind of shit. I think if they were both in a bar and Captain America, well, it would be the Punisher's like, you looking at my chick, motherfucker. I think then it'd be a different story. It would be like...
but the thing...
He'd hold his shield up, he'd punch the back of his shield into Punisher's face, and his head would be caved in.
But but Captain America wouldn't take it there, though. He wouldn't. The Punisher will take it to the death. He will straight up just drink his blood. Whereas Captain America would be like, I'm going to beat you up till you can't stand no more, then you go into jail. He won't think to hang him from the ceiling or something. Do you know what I mean? To make sure he's dead, and give him a few pulls on his ankle, just to make sure. I don't.
Okay, so you have to remember that when right. Okay. For next week, you have to remember what you've just said. is that okay, so that'll all make sense in a second. So what are we saying? Are you saying Punisher or Captain America?
In the two different scenarios, okay. So in an ambush situation, I don't know. I think Punisher's always he's always ready. He's always got something there. He will always create a decoy. He will. I'm gonna say Punisher. I'm sorry. Like as much as Captain America's got strength, I just can't put.
He needs to take him out at range or get, like you say, behind him and just while he's distracted, just knife to the neck or something. But the thing is, I suppose if you slit it properly, shanked him up or something, yeah, that would kill him. But he's hard as nails as well. Like Captain America can put up with more punishment than a normal guy. He'd have to like machete his head off.
Yeah, it'd be a tough one, but I'm going to say Punisher on this one. I mean, we'll probably get a comment of some sort. So I'd love to know what people think.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna do like the X Factor thing or the Country of Your Choice Has Got Talent thing where like it's down to them to vote someone off, but it's the fan favorite, even though that they're fucking shit. So they take it to judges' votes or like viewer votes. I'm gonna go for Captain America because unless he's had months to prepare, then in a straight up fight, Punisher's face is mulch. So yeah, tell us what you guys think, whether and what scenario as well. Because you could write this scenario. Anyone can write a comic book and have someone win. You know, anyone could, for instance, have Batman somehow take out the entire Justice League, even though Iron Man could kill him.
Well, that will lead on to next week's show, which is going to be Thors-Kin Triggered with Garrett and Justin. We did say on the last show that we were going to rig a few of these superhero bar fights, and that's what we're going to do for you guys next week. We're going to pit Iron Man against Batman next week, the big one, the big dog.
Yeah. If we rephrase that, instead of rigging it, what we're doing is this is, you know, in terms of choice, we're doing a main event. Everything else is like undercard so far. We're doing a main event next week. It's a main event podcast for us. You know, we wanted to get more guests on than we've been doing so far. So this is kind of like a proper step in the right direction. We're saving some big subjects. And we're going to have that to finish the show. We're going to have that main event. Al's favourite, Batman. For me, sort of, it is Captain America, but Iron Man is that second close favourite. So it's basically our favourites, and there's like a personal history of arguments with these two characters. So it's a personal thing for us. We're gonna hash it out. We're gonna see who's gonna win next week. Batman versus Iron Man. So make sure you tune in.
And in fact, me, James, and a few others had seemed like weeks-long argument on Facebook about this same subject, which made me think of Jimmy for doing the podcast, because he's going to tell me what he thinks. I'm going to tell him, and it's just quite hilarious to listen to two grown guys talk about this sort of shit. And we're going to have Garrett and Justin as well putting their oar in, so it's going to be quite a special listen, I think. So
yeah, that's quite true, actually, isn't it? Is that it's quite weird that we're doing this podcast because of Batman versus Iron Man. That first argument was just like, right, we need to get on a mic when we do this. But yeah, so extra special show next week, guys. Some special guests, special subjects. But unless there's anything else you want to clear up for our delightful, handsome motherfuckers that listen to us,
there is. I just want to quickly. I know we've got to go and do things. I got to shower because I smell like shit. But my homie Ryan, I've just posted on Thors-Kin. We have talked, me and James, about this before, but he's created something very special, and it's already getting quite a lot of views and likes and things on YouTube. The group are called Sketchy Connection. I've just put a link on our Thors-Kin page for their YouTube videos, and basically what these geniuses do is they animate a scene. It's just guys talking over. What they do is they record their conversations over Xbox Live, and they animate a scene, and they have the gameplay on the TV and little bits as well, like the actual gameplay in with the animation, and you get to sit and listen to their wacky conversations. And this has taken months upon months upon months of hard work and absolute geniusness to make this. They've launched yesterday, I think it was. Like I said, they're already hot off the press. So give them some love. I'm going to get Ryan on the show at some point to talk about this process, and I want him to give us some insight to how what goes on into making videos like that. So watch out for that and give them some love. Okay, give them some watches and some likes, because as much as you love us, we want you to love them too. So watch out for that.
More. Love us more.
Us more.
Definitely us more.
Love me.
Hey, you guys.
And that being that's the end of the show. Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
Yeah, as always, Alex is gay.
As a motherfucker.